Hey, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bar. Tonight, our mystery sommelier is actually not camera shy. Here he is, Link, along with Big Daddy. And why don't you tell him a little bit about yourself, Link?
Well, I've been a sommelier since 2005. I went to New York City to train at the Sommelier Society of America. I went then afterwards to the Wine and Spirits Education Trust, where I got the advanced certificate. That was about 4 years ago, and this year I'm doing the Certified Wine Educator exam up in Seattle. So, having a lot of fun, learning a lot about wine.
It's not really up in Seattle, it's more over.
That's true, it's over in Seattle. Yeah. But tonight we're going to do a blind tasting. We've got 3 different wines here. Nobody knows where they're from. Well, I do, obviously, because I brought them. But we have an unoaked Chardonnay, and a Pinot Noir. So let's start with the unoaked Chardonnay, and let's see what everybody thinks about it. Now, obviously, with an unoaked Chardonnay, you're looking for a very crisp mineral.
I get no oak in this at all.
That's a good thing.
No, seriously, I'm not a huge fan of heavily oaked white wine.
It's one of the reasons why I brought this.
That's good.
That is very good.
It's very light, very crisp.
It's exactly what you look for in an
Got a nice
Chardonnay.
fruitiness to it, not overpowering in the
Is it
fruitiness.
French?
It is not.
It's gotta be California.
It is not.
Is it New York?
It is New York.
Okay. It's the New York Chardonnay.
This is from the Finger Lakes, Red Tail Ridge Sands Oak Chardonnay. Retails for about $9 a bottle. The couple that owns this winery actually came up here in 2004. They bought 30 acres down in Seneca Lake. They were both in the California wine industry before moving up here. They grow everything organically. They have a LEED certified winery. Everything's geothermal heated. Everything's all naturally fertilized. They are all about the fruit. They don't care about anything else. They don't want to be flashy. They make Chardonnay, they make Pinot Noir, Riesling, and they're trying to grow some more European varietals that are, specific to cold climate, like Dornfelder and Teraldigo. So some of the German red varietals and the northern Italian red varietals. But they're a very cool place. They actually do a sparkling Teraldigo, which is really cool. But I love these guys.
It's very
You really
good.
love them?
Yeah, I really love them.
Very cool.
What kind of threw me off there is I don't get that New York State wine taste. It's just this thing that all New York State wines tend to have, just about all of them. That's one of the few that actually doesn't. That's why
That's
I
in your
initially thought
opinion.
France.
Well, and it's not
No.
even that. It's depending on what grapes they use. Because the Finger Lakes is very cold and has a very short growing season, we tend to use a lot of French-American hybrids. So they're hybriding these vinifera varietals like Riesling or Chardonnay with native varietals like Niagara or Delaware. And you end up getting that foxiness that you would get out of the New Yorker.
That's the New York thing. It's not an opinion. That's just what you get.
Right, but that's with
No,
specific
no.
varietals. You're not going to get that with Chardonnay.
Yeah.
But
We had a wine producer around here from Germany say this is a perfect region for Chardonnay. Hold on.
finish your wine.
It's gone. I was kind of surprised to hear that because there's such a colder climate than California and other places that grow Chardonnay, so I thought that was kind of surprising, but that was very good.
I'm a little concerned about this wine. I've already opened 2 bottles from the case and they were no good, so.
It smells bad.
Yes. That's
Yeah, it's shot.
It's French.
Completely shot.
It's French.
Well, it is French.
Yes.
You knew that already.
I didn't know that. No, I did. He told me earlier that this was.
go ahead.
Yeah, so the rest of that case is shot, which stinks because this is like a $40 bottle of wine. But I bought it from 8,
bad.
so I don't
And what
feel.
is this one? Jansen?
And that happens with wine too.
Yeah, these guys have been making wine for, I think, 240, 250 years. Awesome producer, but obviously this is just not stored properly.
Yeah,
It's shot. So before we move on to the last one, let's get a rinse.
I was told in my wines class at the CIA that a lot of times when wines come into the United States, they sit on a dock down in like the Bahamas and they cook in the sun actually. He thinks his wine was cooked, and I bet you that's probably what happened to it.
This is wine number 3.
No, red wine especially, I look at the color.
Well, being is that we know that it's Pinot Noir, you know it's going to be light. Pinot Noir should be light enough that you can read through. The ones that aren't are some of those inexpensive California versions, like Mark
What if we don't know
West
how to
or things
read?
like that. Well, then you're going to have a hard time. Well, that means you can see other people through them.
Pretty typical Pinot Noir to me. Not a lot going on. It's not bad. Just, I don't get a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, it's good, but it's a little.
Well, Pinot Noir is very delicate. I mean, it's a very
But
feminine
also,
grape.
he did say it was a younger wine.
Yeah.
And that's going to be part of the reason why also.
Yeah,
But you know, you're not
Cancer.
matching a Pinot Noir with a really hearty steak. You're
No.
putting it maybe with a filet mignon, which is a no flavor steak. I'm a chef and I hate filet mignon. Most chefs do.
It's because it has no fat. Fat is
Right.
flavor.
That's right.
See, I love the nose on this. It's got that really kind of barnyardy
I get the
earthiness that
gassy,
you get.
yeah.
But it's a very young wine. It's a 2012 vintage. I'm probably going to keep this. I've got
Is it
2
California?
bottles. It's not. I'm going to keep this
Is
in
it
my.
somewhere other than California?
It is.
Australia?
It is not Australia. Australia would definitely be darker in color.
Finger Lakes. Yeah, see. Again, I have opinions about New York State red wines. Not a fan necessarily. I've never had a good one, let me just put it that way.
You just did.
Well, it's not that great.
This wine scored 92 points in Wine Spectator.
Care, I'm telling you, I don't like it.
No, it doesn't mean it's not a good wine. I
For
think
me, it's not good.
Right. But again, I think this is a beautifully made Pinot Noir. It's exactly what you want.
Where is this
These guys source grapes from all over the place. It's a partnership between Louis Barul, Rick Rainey. Louis Barul is actually the owner and winemaker for Chateau Saint Côme in the Rhone Valley. Rick Rainey lives down in Trumansburg. And they have been partners together for probably 6 years now, and they've been making wine for 4. And every wine that they've released, all they make is Pinot Noir and Riesling. Every wine that they've released has scored above 90 points in Wine Spectator.
I'd like to see this one age a little more.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can tell it's a decent wine. It's got what it's in the future. It would have been, you know, this. Like you said, he opened it too early for this. I mean, obviously doing the blind taste test, I understand.
So even now it's starting to open up. The finish on it, you're getting a little bit more of that kind of that almost really ripe cherry notes that you're supposed to get out of Pinot.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying, I mean, for a New York State red, it's good. But I think it's lacking.
Yeah, I
when you
mean,
compare it to California.
I know what Big Daddy's saying with the New York State Reds. They tend to have, with the shorter growing season, I find that a lot of them end up being a little bit sweeter because they try to compensate with some more sugar to make up for it.
Plus, a lot of times they grow a lot of Cabernet Franc in the Finger Lakes, so you end up getting that unripe Cabernet Franc taste, which is that real stemmy green tannin.
Yeah.
And that's horrible.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, growing a Pinot Noir in a cool climate like this is not easy to do, and making one as nice as this in that type of condition is really, really hard to do. I really like these
It's
guys.
gonna be interesting to see after this winter we just had.
Well, a lot of the Pinot Noir vines are going to be dead. after
Yeah,
the
this
winter
was a
comes in.
very, very hard winter for New York. We had record cold temperatures for extended periods of time.
We ended up with over 102 inches of snow, I believe.
Well, we usually get a lot of snow anyways, but yeah, we got more than we've had the last several years.
That really deep, long period of time where it was that cold is going to kill off a lot of these Pinot Noir
Yeah.
vines.
What would you rate the first wine?
That first one I liked a lot. That first one I would probably go at about a 7.5 for that.
See, for me, knowing that it's from New York, being that good of a quality, I would rate it about an 8.5.
And I'm in the same ballpark.
And
I'm 8.5.
I'm glad it's a New York State wine because they've been trying to bring it up, especially the Finger Lakes specifically, trying to bring it up for the last decade or so at least that I've been in the business, and they have been lacking in a lot of departments, and there's only a handful of producers that actually put out good quality stuff, and most of it is Riesling or dessert wine.
The Gewürztraminers are very good in the Finger Lakes as well.
Right. You're talking about the cold climate, German style stuff, and that's quality. That's for a Chardonnay. I'm kind of shocked at that one. That's from New York. It doesn't have that New York State taste going on.
Now, obviously, this one,
Yeah, I can't
there's
rate
no
that
way to
one.
That gets a
that
negative
was-
1.
Well, yeah, we said this was forged.
And
Did we even say what that was? It really
Yeah,
doesn't
this
matter.
is Chanson. It's a great producer, just a terrible bottle.
Yeah,
It
it's-
happens.
that happens with wine, unfortunately, that's the risk you take.
By the way, I didn't mention this. This retails for about $27 a bottle.
Really, that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, I mean, if you're going to look for even entry level red Burgundy is going to be at that price, and it's not going to be as quality.
Now, is Pinot Noir a wine that you can really age? Like
Oh,
in
yeah.
the bottle, it'll do well. Okay.
Definitely.
I know. I mean, you do that with some really tannic wines, so it'll soften them up.
Well, Pinot Noir is the highest acid red wine.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that'll make wine age in a bottle and age well: acid, tannin, and sweetness. So some of the things like German Rieslings or dessert wines like the Trockenbeeren Auslese or ice wines, because of the acid being so high and the sweetness being so high, they can age for 50, 60 years. This has probably got 10 to 15 years of life in it.
Okay.
so what are you rating this one then?
I would give that a 5. But that's if it's just a wine that I'm buying. If I know that it's from New York, I'm gonna probably give it a 7. I'd say about a 5 though.
With how it sits now, without being aged totally, I'm gonna say it's about a 6.
I'd give that wine a 7.5 and 8 just because I love the structure of it. I love the mouthfeel of it. I love the length on the finish. The nose on it was really the thing that sold me on this wine originally when I first bought some.
It did have a good nose.
Yeah.
Had a better nose than a taste.
Yeah, and again, I think that's going to come with time.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I think along with what Big Daddy said, if you're from the Finger Lakes and you're a winery and you want to challenge us and see how we rate your wine, contact us. All the information's in the boxes below.
And you probably know this guy.
Probably do.
Probably do. So,
But fairness to all, we are, especially me, I'm brutally honest with my opinions. And it's not all prejudged either. I'm gonna taste it. I'm just gonna be honest, and I have to be. And this one here, I'm not sold on it. I wouldn't pay that for that wine. I wouldn't even think of buying a New York State Red at this point in my. I mean, they gotta really kick it up for me to really even consider. But that Chardonnay, that was worth getting. I think.
Especially at $9 a bottle on the shelf, $10 a bottle on the
that's
shelf.
phenomenal. I'm shocked with that one.
yeah. Well, I think that's about it. I want to thank our mystery sommelier, Link, Big Daddy, as always. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great night.
Cheers.